On the topic of this VoLTE capability on smartphones, I decided to just make this video to talk about a recent experience I had as it relates to having or not having this capability, VoLTE. I just took some notes here, and what I want to talk about is we use this this cheap cell phone plan. It's called Red Pocket. It's a Red Pocket mobile phone plan. We use this for our smartphones, and some of our phones in our family stopped working recently, and it took us a bit of time to figure out that it was because only one of the phones, one out of the 5 phones which works for us, for our family, has this VoLTE icon here. And at first I didn't know that that was actually something that if we didn't have this, it was preventing our phones from working due to some kind of change or something. But I'm not going to go into details, but what I want to just talk about is, well, how do you go about I mean, we have Red Pocket as our phone plan. It's a cheap phone plan. Don't know if this is happening to other people with this phone plan or other phone plans, but essentially the question is, what if you don't have this VoLTE? Well, for me and our family, the solution was to start buying some smartphones like this one, which have VoLTE. It just, if you're curious about, if you're curious about what phone this is the, made by the company Blue. This is the Blue J9L. You see it right here, J9L. If you're interested, this phone was about $90, and I checked the price today. Now it's all the way to $100. So I don't know if there's a little bit more interest in this phone, and now they raised the price, but this is made by the company Blue. They specialize in basic phones, not smartphones, and also smartphones like this one. So the company Blue specializes. This is a 6-inch display. I like this phone a lot. It was about $90, $97 after tax and shipping. Now it costs $100, so it's probably going to be more than $100. But if you're interested, this is the Blue J9 Focus, Blue J9L, and this does have the VoLTE. And let me just show you really quickly the setting here. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. See, we have this Red Pocket phone plan, and we have the SIM card. Now you see this little saying. It says, VoLTE use LTE services to improve voice and other communications recommended. So VoLTE, and again, here's that, see that icon right there, VoLTE. So we have some phones in our family that we purchased that were released on Amazon maybe around mid 2020, and they stopped working because they didn't have this VoLTE. So I already had this, it was working, it kept working, so we're going to buy some more phones with this. Maybe we're going to buy the same one, maybe we're going to buy a different phone. So what I was doing is I was going online, checking Amazon. Well, first I was going online and searching for Blue smartphones or Blue phones with VoLTE. You can go to Google, whatever your preferred search engine is, and just search for. Look, you can buy phones with any brand. I'm just talking about the company Blue, which is this one, because I just find that their phones have good value. So it doesn't have to be Blue. You don't have to buy a smartphone made by the company Blue. This is just a video that I'm making specifically about Blue phones, because I buy phones from this company because they're reasonably cheap in terms of when you think about smartphones, $100, maybe $120, and I find them to be reliable. And if your phone breaks, well, then at least you're not out of $300, $400, $200, $300 for a smartphone, just maybe $120 and change and something like that. So if you want to look for specifically phones made by this company Blue, you can go online, search for Blue phones with VoLTE, and you can just find some lists, find at least one list, maybe 2 lists, maybe 3, and then look at these phones, look at the list, and make sure that the phone that you're looking for example, when I have the Blue J9L, it's on all of the lists, and then go on Amazon to see if it's available. Some of them are upcoming phones that haven't been released yet, so of course I know maybe you were hoping that I would have a complete list, but you can find those lists online. But in the meantime, if you want to get started, if you're just curious, unlocked Android device made by the company Blue, which does have this VoLTE and is currently working, you see my signal, then that would be a good phone to start with, maybe the J9L. I'm not going to guarantee you like it, but I like it. I think it's not terribly expensive, a good device with this VoLTE capability. So and is currently working with our Red Pocket mobile phone plan. So that's it, VoLTE. I have it with this, I have it on the Blue J9L, which is very fortunate because I didn't have any, there was no time where I didn't have service because my phone kept working, whereas the other phones without this VoLTE just stopped working in our family. So if you want to get started, maybe go online, search for phones with VoLTE. Again, it doesn't have to be Blue, it can be any brand, Nokia, maybe Samsung, and there's some websites that'll have lists. Phones with LTE and that VoLTE, and then you can start searching. I just like this company, Blue, because the phones are relatively cheap, and I only use it for some calling and texting, light internet browsing here and there. So for me, that's enough. I don't want to spend more than $100 on a smartphone. Thanks for watching this video, and have a nice day.